Let's try it. Let's do that.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone!
You're getting the audio.
Yep. Welcome to Everyone Racers.
It's a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ
or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions,
Tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot,
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough,
and Chrissy,
and Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
Let's do that. Everyone report to the paddock. This is Chrissy.
And I'm Tim.
And we're Everyone Racers. And we are without somebody who knows what they're doing. So we're trying to make do. So that's why you got us instead of the video. We're Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Starliner episode of our podcast. It's episode 352. The Ford Starliner was a 2-year top-of-the-line variant of the Galaxy for model years 60 and 61. While the 352 cubic inch motor was available both years, in 1961, the Starliner could be optioned with a high-performance 352 making 360 horses. It was the first engine Ford offered to have more than 1 horsepower rating per cubic inch. Now you know. Great. It's nice to be back. Nice to see you. So sorry that we missed a week to our favorite listeners.
We just got really, really busy. Sorry.
So many things.
So
I can't wait to hear about them.
We have those things. So, Tim, what you working on? And then we'll tell you what we're working on.
Well, apparently ants are not conductive of electricity. And the reason I know that is because 2 of my outdoor outlets have been infested with ants, one carpenter ants and one just your normal red ants. And they just wreaked havoc on everything. So I had to take it all out, spray it all down, replace the GFCIs. And it was pretty wild to see them like crawling in and out of the holes as you're spraying it with stuff. So that would have been fine if it was just down at eye level, but one of them also attaches to a Nest camera way up in a tree. And then also a big string of, we have the outdoor like villa lights. So I had to cut one of the ends off of that and hardwired it in. So it was fun with ladders and electricity today. Good stuff.
Was it raining and thundering?
It was not. And I
Good.
did have someone hold the ladder for me most of the time until he got distracted and then walked over to the beach and started fishing, and I had to call him back in. So I got like a B- for safety.
Sounds great. Did you turn the electricity off before you started with all this wiring?
Yes. I even
And
had a
you
little tester, and I checked it and made sure I wasn't going to die.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
good.
impressed. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I did not pull a mental. Sorry, mental.
It makes me think of when mental lights went out in the whole
I
neighborhood.
did.
Like,
I did not blow the entire state of Maine out trying to fix my ant problem.
Well, in Maine, there's like 2 of those little screw-in fuses. That's all you get.
you guys go down the street and figure out which door to open to figure that out. That's good.
So,
Well,
good stuff. Got it all done.
excellent.
Good. I'm sure you've been up to more than that, but that's what it sounds like today.
I've got some friends in town. So the reason why I'm missing Thompson is my friend Ray Hatch is in town, him and his wife Macy, and we're playing in a golf tournament this weekend. So we've been getting ready for the golf tournament, some practice rounds. We're working on our BAC levels, try to make sure we get perfect, like that perfect spot, where you
How do
ride
you
that
maintain
knife's
it?
edge.
Right. Maintain.
Yeah. Ride that knife's edge. You can't get too much. So cigars and pars and beers. It's going to be fun.
That's great.
Excellent.
Well, thanks for joining us, and sorry to not be hanging out with your friends.
Oh,
Yep.
I wish we had my friends at the racetrack too. I can't be
Right?
everywhere. Wah,
You
wah.
It
you had a
seemed to be
seat
so
and then said,
popular. I'm
"No,
Tim. I have
no.
so many friends. I can't
I
see
have
them
other
all.
friends and I can't help you. I can't play race cars with you. I have to play golf with my other friends."
Yep. It's pretty much
Such
it.
a loser.
No, you're not.
No.
All right, Chris. So
Okay.
we've got a couple of weeks worth of stuff here to talk about.
Yeah. Like we could do a whole show on what we've been doing. In fact, we're going to later. All how the Mazda works and all the different parts and how it all swaps. Because with the right combination of parts, you can put a 2018 Ford Escape 2.5 liter in a 2007 Mazda 3 with bolts. Yep. Plugs in, runs great.
Yep.
So other things, I
You do it right.
helped my stepmother buy a new Honda HR-V. That went actually quite smoothly. Hyannis Honda. Let's see how the delivery goes. Car's not there yet, but everything else has gone smoothly. Those of you who have been listening for a long time remember I built that beach cart for Chrissy's parents a couple of years ago. It was a powered giant aluminum beach cart, and it had a wagon handle on the front of it that you'd pull it with and then steer it with, because the front wheels were just castering wheels. The rear had a one-wheel drive on the axle. We had two-wheel drive, but you couldn't actually turn it at all with a locked axle. It would not turn. So we made it one-wheel drive. Now it turns. But the handle mounts on the front of the cart tore out the aluminum of the frame on that spot because there was a lot of pressure to hold that thing. So we said, all right, well, we need to look into version 1.2 here. And I essentially made it into a big shopping cart. At the back, I put a handle that sticks up, goes across the width of it, and has a support beam down to both parts of the frame rail. So you just stand at the back of it, and you've got your right thumb has the thumb throttle, and you can't castering nose wheels, so you just push around like a giant shopping cart. And it seems to work great. It's one less moving part. It's very solid. I think this is a better version. We shall
Probably
see.
should have done that to start.
Well, the hard part is you can't see if you have the big T frame hanging all the chairs, you're not going to be able to see where you're going very well.
That's why you usually travel with two people and somebody will stand in front.
You need a
That's
spotter. Yep. It's like at Home Depot when they're bringing the forklift down. You need someone standing in front of it with the flag and the little beeper thing, right? Yeah. So let's see how that
so they don't
works.
have to pull or push. I'm pretty sure they'll make it happen.
It's still electrically powered, which is what you want when you're walking down that quarter mile beach, is the cart to pull itself. So it does still.
Should we get you like the VR setup and you can have a camera on the front and you can just drive it around?
Yep. If you say things like this, it'll happen.
It's not remote control yet.
No, you're not allowed because it'd be motorized and then that's illegal. So you can't actually have it that way.
Yeah. The motorization, it's questionable whether that's okay or not. And several people have them now. We're not the only ones, but still. Anyway.
Well, if you're riding on it, then technically isn't it a mobility scooter, and it's a assisted device for someone that is requiring assistance?
Possibly, except then I'd have to make a steering system that actually works instead of the castering wheels in the front.
And then you probably have to have a license and a permit and a
It's New Jersey. There's paperwork
helmet and money.
It's only illegal if you get caught. That's how I learned when I was in Jersey.
I mean, when you go to a beach that has a million people on it, like even just in the square sections that you sit, probably have hundreds of people in them.
Well, they still won't be the people causing the most problems in wherever section they are with their little electric beach cart. Anyway, what else? I put the NSX back together without the vent adjuster.
Don't you have a button for this?
Yeah, I closed that window because I had
never mind. I did it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was very annoyed the other day. I'm sitting at a light and the air is coming out of the vent, like pointing right at my face, and I don't want it there, and I can't adjust it because the
is that where it's
gone.
Stuck?
No, so I took my sunglasses off and I used the arm of my sunglasses to stick in the vent and turn the vent a little bit.
I think you should come up with
supercar life, yo. I mean,
I think you should put like a paper clip or something on it.
I'll figure something out eventually. We're just not there.
Eyes.
I needed the car back together to get out of the garage. That's what I needed.
Yes.
And then I drove it because it's a nice car.
Why did you need to get it out of the garage, Chris?
Well, because we were about to do all kinds of other stuff in the garage, like swapping the motor in the Mazda. So for those of you who don't remember, it left New Jersey
Jersey.
with a blown motor and sat in Jeff's yard for a month.
Like a hella blown
Like,
motor.
Almost 2 months, actually. Yeah, like hole through the oil pan kind of blown motor.
Oh, and then through the block as well.
We found that out later. There's also a hole in the block. When that rod let go, it decided to poke a few holes. So, yeah. So we needed to put a new motor. So I went and got new engines at a junkyard out in Pittsburgh. We talked about that. Eventually got the car from Jeff, brought it up here, cleaned it because it was a hot mess from oil everywhere and Jeff's yard. So got it actually clean enough to touch and got everything out. The motor, definitely cylinder number 1. Most of the rod is just gone.
Like burnt. Like
well,
crusty.
The crank's a little crispy. But we haven't done a full post-mortem on the engine yet. But I will say that we got the main girdle off. The main bearings look perfect. Like
amazing.
Like brand new perfect. They're amazingly perfect. But number 1 rod left the chat somehow. I don't know if it was a bolt failure or what it was. But yeah. Anyway, we'll have more pictures later when we take it apart more. So anyway, you got the motor out, get everything separated, and then had to spend a day swapping stuff around because it's basically a long block swap. So timing covers, crank pulleys, manifolds, you name it.
That was most of what I did. It was take a part off, leave it. We took everything, we took the engine out, and then had put that on. We put the new one on the
new engine on the stand so we could work on it. Yeah. Made the baffle for the oil pan. Just switched all the things over. Takes a while.
See the video for that, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
If I was going to say it's right here, but Chris isn't that good, so it's not going to be right here.
No idea.
You could find it. It's on YouTube's. It should be. Yeah. It'll be right under this one, probably under our videos.
So eventually got the motor back in the car Sunday morning. Saturday afternoon, we had it all kind of basically ready to go back in. The whole powertrain back together as a unit, ready to go back in. And then Sunday we got that in. Found a problem.
Sunday we went
to the junkyard because we found a problem. The variable cam timing plug was different, and I couldn't swap the old version over because it was part of a cam cap and it was a different shape and it didn't work at all. So. And also we had a problem with the valve cover fitting the variable cam timing solenoid thing and the coils. And it was all a mess. Like no combination was working. So we went to the junkyard, bought a couple wiring plugs and a set of 4 coils that we thought might work. Came back. Those coils didn't work at all. That was a waste. But I was able to change the fitting in the valve cover to make that work. Again, talk about this in the Mazda episode. Anyway, in the end, car fired right up. Makes great oil pressure. I've driven it around about 20 miles now to break it in a little bit more. The engine now has 28 miles on it. So we're quadrupling the mileage. And it seems to run great. There was a tiny little water leak at a hose clamp. That was the only thing we could find wrong. It's in the trailer. It's race ready. It's been a lot of work.
Let's see how it goes on
soon. It's testing ready.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we went through the rest of the car, and it seemed okay otherwise. The rear brake pads are almost gone, but Bill has a set for me. He's going to bring to the track, so we'll have to swap those in. There's a little bit of a brake pulsing, I think, is due to the e-brake getting put on when the car was hot, and the car sitting outside for a month, probably with the e-brake on too. So I think that's a problem. But if that's the case, it's all the rear. We'll just swap it all out and be good with it. Everything else seems good. I mean, 20 miles around here it did okay. So we'll give it a shot on Friday at Thompson, see how it goes.
So the pan under the motor that had hot bits fall through it.
Yeah.
Does that still exist under there with the holes in it?
Yeah. I left.
Oh, there was another video.
The melty parts of the holes there too, because it's a fun bit of history of the car. Yeah, I did have to cut a bit of that pan away to fit the oil pan for the escape motor is a different oil pan than the Mazda one, and it has a different angle and didn't fit quite right. So I had to cut a little hole, bigger hole on that. But aside from that, it's totally fine.
I mean, it would be amazing if you took it out and like put it in a frame, hung it in the garage as wall art, right?
Yeah.
It'd be
Well,
like
if it gets destroyed again, another I will take that bit out. So, but yeah, we've got the garage all back together. 2 cars are in it. Everything's away. I don't want to do this again. Nobody blow up
No,
this motor, please.
we're not
It's a lot of
doing we're
work.
not doing this again.
No.
It doesn't fit well, or it fits too well, one or the other. So I don't want to do this again. It's not an easy swap.
The second spare is an exact replica of that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so it wouldn't be
The
as
next VIN,
wouldn't
right?
be as much
Or
fumbling of parts going around as it was the first time.
No, it
From the
will be
Mazda
because it will be exactly the same amount of parts fumbling because I have to move all that stuff to the other one.
we took it all from the Mazda because it's Mazda
The
wiring
Mazda
harness.
parts, Mazda timing cover, and you can't just pull the crank pulley off these motors because it's not a keyed crank pulley. You actually have to put a whole set of timing lock tools in and tighten the bolt a certain way, and it's a one-time use crank bolt. And it's so over the winter, sure, I can go to a junkyard, find another one of these Mazdas, and take the parts I need, and can make the motor
I don't want to
work.
do it again.
But I think the fact that we have the second motor means we won't need to. That's what I'm going for.
Insurance is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
what do you want to
you
add?
just took
You
all
were
of the
there with
things
all-
and made it sound like you did it all.
Chrissy, other than everything Chris did, what'd you do?
When I was saying,
Not.
Chrissy, what do
I
you want
was-
to add? Because you were there doing all of this. With
I
me.
did
You
all-
cut
I
me
did the
off
other half
before I
of
could
the
even
work.
get there.
Whatever. I
There's
did the
video
other half
evidence
the
of
work.
that too.
There
Chris.
is. Yeah, right? Do you like my yes, check our actually both YouTube and both Facebook and Insta have a lot of I'm posting Fiend. So there's all kinds of time-lapse videos of us taking out, putting in all kinds of good videos with funny music, and yeah, it was good. It ended up working out really well. After we did that, there's some of the things like Chris was working on axles. I was packing for the race because we obviously have to cook for 12, and there's just a lot of work to be done in the house. So I'm trying to get packed for the race. Yeah, that's about it.
All that other just normal race stuff aside from having a working car that you still need to do.
Burgers and pancakes and salads and store trips, and my whole den is full of boxes and race stuff and whatever. Anyway, yes, so that's what I was doing. It's Tuesday night time!
And Toyota built its reputation over several decades as a manufacturer known for its reliability with powertrains. Remember, this is the maker of the notorious hard-to-kill Hilux and Land Cruiser. Now owners and prospective buyers might think a little differently, though, after Toyota decided on July 25th to replace 102,000 engines in Tundras and Lexus LX SUVs from 2022 to 2023. By Rivers at the Autopian, he tells us that why all this likely happened. Toyota issued a recall back in early June. At that time, the company simply said that the aforementioned trucks and SUVs might have debris inside of their V35A engines. The V35 engine, by the way, is the new 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 that replaced the rugged 5.7-liter V8. The recall included 98,000 Tundras and 3,500 Lexus LX600s. Toyota says the debris was likely introduced into the engines during the machining process, and the company altered its machining process to one that better clears the machining debris. Probably a good idea. Toyota doesn't state how many vehicles in the recall population actually suffered from significant loose debris, so it's hard to know the rate of failure at this time. The link to the full story is in the notes. The Autopian. Horrible.
Yep. Toyota, though, I give them credit. They're just replacing all these motors. Okay.
Like the amount of like just burning the cash right now that they're doing is unbelievable.
They do historically stand behind their stuff. Like, how many frames did they replace in Tundras and Tacomas and things? Years, 100,000 miles in, they're still replacing them.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
okay.
Good on them.
Yep. Hey, so this past week, some of you may have been stranded in airports or Disney World. Why? Well, because the well-known cybersecurity company Crowdstrike fell prey to a Windows outage of their own making. It bloomed into what's being called the largest IT outage in history. But as Jason Torchinsky at the Autopian reminds us, don't be selfish and think about yourself, because the CEO of Crowdstrike, George Kurtz, lost his chance to go racing. In addition to being a major F1 and IMSA supporter, Kurtz also actually drives an AMG GT in the SRO GT World Challenge. The outage happened while they were setting up for an event at VIR, and looks like the cars never made it out. We've all lost a race weekend in Florida Park to work, and it appears that even CEOs have to contend with this as well. If nothing else, I'm sure it hastened the response. They have another race in 3 weeks at Road America. And you don't want to get those work calls when you're at the track and when it's, half the world just shut down because of our software. Oh, no.
You're like, but I can't race.
Right.
Fix it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to work 24 hours a day and fire that guy who pushed the wrong button. I have to go racing.
Yep.
Yes.
Somebody commented, they said, I can just see this. Yeah, I started my job at Dark Trace, and we pushed out a quick update, and we got that done before noon. It was a pretty easy day. ...
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, like, right?
Really happy at my first day here at Microsoft. Yeah.
And my last. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, gearheads of the world differ on opinions just like any other segment of society. Imports versus domestics, LS versus K-swap, sleep at a track or in a hotel. But we believe everyone into cars can agree that homeowners associations are the absolute worst. Even after a new Florida state law restricting the power of HOAs, Lawrence Hodge at Jalopnik has a story of a Sarasota HOA for the Meadows and how they continue to enforce rules regarding pickups. Created in 1976, the bylaws state that pickups can't be parked in the driveway of residents' homes between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. A privately owned pickup in a privately owned driveway faces fines and can be towed. The residents have to use a private lot down the street at the cost of up to $500 a month. The HOA rule still stands because the language in the law wasn't worded strongly enough. HOAs are the worst.
I would have some strong language. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like discrimination. Like,
well, it's also, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into.
How do you feel about Florida, Chris? How do you feel about
you're
Florida?
buying the house. You know that it has an HOA. You can look at the rules. You can see, I don't like that. So you can choose not to buy.
Okay.
If you put a camper top on a truck, does it no longer become a pickup truck and is now an SUV?
Who depends on
Like
what
when does that happen?
rules in the 70s?
It probably isn't. I don't know. It's not a thing.
Like, how much Bondo do I have to put on the seam to make this an SUV?
Yeah.
I live here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
People with pickup trucks just need
Maybe
to get
that's
elected
worse.
to the HOA board and get the rules changed. How about that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They might have tried. Who knows? It's Florida. They're strong on their rules for no reason.
Florida's dumb.
Bad rules.
All right.
Bad rules.
We're always finding cool race cars on Racing Junk, but you also need to be able to get your car to the track, or more importantly, enable others' bad decisions when perusing your local sale ads. Turns out Racing Junk has you covered there as well. Chris is bringing it up right now.
Trying to.
No, you're not. Okay, I'll keep reading. Right now, there is a Big Tex open trailer in Temecula, California for just $7,400, which seems to be a lot for an open trailer. But this one has a tilt bed, 3,400-pound winch, deep cycle battery with solar charging. What? It comes with E-Track, and the seller is including all of it. It has a gross vehicle weighted rate of 14,000 pounds. And it was kept in a warehouse. More details on the ad. And guess what? They got it Pro membership, and there's 21 pictures of this deal. And Chris is showing it on the screen. Congratulations, Chris.
Well
Thanks.
done, Chris.
Yeah,
You
this is a
did
pretty
it.
beefy trailer.
Yeah.
If you got a heavy car.
Tilt bed?
Yeah, it's
14K?
not
Heavy
a,
car.
it's not
I mean,
a
14,000-pound trailer is something that like Corey Dickman should own.
Like when you need
It's
to
not a
move
moon
your
trailer.
backhoe, then it's great. If you need to move your
Yeah.
backhoe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris, for
or if
showing.
you need to get your vehicle.
Oh no!
Bring me
Wrong
everyone.
one. Sorry.
Oh no!
Wrong one.
That's what happens when the guy who knows how to run the show isn't on it.
Oh, it's a
I'm
Dark
learning.
Trace moment right there.
I'm learning.
You are learning. You're doing a great job.
I'll figure
It's
it out.
fine.
one of
Everything's
these days.
fine.
Go get that trailer and tell us how it is, because it looks awesome.
Great.
All right, you ready? It's upcoming races time!
Sorry, getting back to the right screen. Hey,
Yeah.
Thompson's this week. Yeah, that's why we're here, right? 100
Woo!
cars, 18 are BMWs. It's still boring.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 2 Hondas, 4 Miatas, 5 Porsches. And Eric said, hey, it's a 100-car race at Thompson with, I think, our first Volvo XC70, first Mercury Milan. Domination is imminent. The Baja is also back, and there's some rookies with a 90s Caprice.
A lot of cars on that list.
That
Yep.
is a lot.
It's a lot, and it's not that big of a track, which we'll talk about in a little while. So
And the paddock is even smaller.
you are not wrong. Well, unless you are all the way, and you can't barely see the entrance to the track from where you're going to park. But we're going to talk about that shortly, because that's what our show's about today, because we're going to the track and we're excited, but it's listener feedback time! So I did a ton of posting on socials with our unbuild and rebuild process. I hope you love them all, like I talked about. It might have driven you crazy, but sorry. Thank you for all the comments we had and all the posts, what you're working on. We posted that up, and I know on both Facebook and Insta, there were plenty of people posting up. But there's too much to list here, but we definitely looked at it all and commented on most of it. So thank you.
Yep. See, it's hard to read this and manipulate
need more
the software
screens
at the same time. I
sound
do,
too.
actually. Team Shenanigans tagged us in an Instagram post. Said, so I got a free Lemons car with a Pagel cage, and I'm going to get it ready for Sonoma. Obviously, the first thing I do is stick the E1R keychain on it so it breaks.
Oh, I hope it doesn't break.
Well, hang on. And I have the picture up here if I can do this correctly. Maybe.
It's okay. It's fine. They put a picture on. That's great. Oh, keychain.
Did you see Pagel? Pagel commented and said, just because it's a cage that I built doesn't mean it's going to pass tech. I thought that was hysterical.
Oh, okay. I would. Well, it's also a Volkswagen, so that isn't great. So,
Yep.
but I mean, I would.
Oh, stop. Sorry.
Everyone!
I need to stop changing the thing, because every time I go
It's
back
fine.
to everybody,
We don't need.
it puts the video on, and I don't know how to make the video go away.
It's fine.
I got it to work
amazing,
for the
actually.
intro, so that's good. I'm trying
Like,
my best.
we're on like Groundhog Day. Like we know as soon as you. It's
All right.
fine. You're doing
I'm
a
not
lot.
doing
It's
that. I'm not doing that anymore.
What you working on? Here we go again.
Yeah. Okay. Also, last
Just
week you
over it.
mentioned Sajib's article about Facebook and the effect on car forums. Uncle Dave said, I still troll the Celica Super forum as the Cressida forums are ghost towns. Yeah, I'm sure.
I like car foams better, because that's what the copy
It does
says.
say, no, it says
Car-
forums or foams, whatever. It's fine.
Car foams.
Car
No,
phones.
you said it right. I was
Yeah.
making fun.
Okay.
Well, he also
Okay.
talked about the previously mentioned discounts Ford has on the all-electric F-150 Lightning. The Ronster replied, so you can lease the Lightning for what it would cost to get a Maverick. I have a Maverick. Wouldn't want to swap it for a Lightning, thanks. Which reflects the level of satisfaction we've heard from many a Maverick owner. So, get a Maverick.
Okay. No. On the YouTubes a few weeks back, at Carlman257 said, "We are finally doing the thing. It's time for a cool suit. Can you please do a refresher on what you would recommend and what to avoid?" Ooh,
It's
that's a
about freaking time. And the first
yeah.
time you turn it on and feel that wonderful sensation of the cool shirt
Every
turning on,
time, every person.
it's just it's amazing every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And put a, depending on what you have, put a modulation valve or switch on it so you can change how much you want it to be flowing through your suit. So
Yep.
if it's really hot out, you can turn it up. If you want to save how much ice you have, you can turn it down. And Uncle Dave's got one where it just kicks on like every minute or every 2 minutes.
Yep.
So don't have it run continuously. It's feels great, but you'll run out of ice. So
It feels great for a little
find
while.
find a way. It feels great until it doesn't.
Right. What we found works great, and this is what Dave has too, is the live well timers for a bass boat. Because what they do is they run it for a minute, and then you vary how long it's off. And so these things are common. They're like $30. You can get them on Amazon and wherever, and they work fine. This is exactly what they're designed to do: is run a pump for a while, and then it's off, and then it's on, it's off, repeat. And so it's really convenient to just do that. As far as the rest of the cool shirts, do not try to make your own shirts. Just buy the real shirts. It's worth the money. Just do that.
And
Yeah.
the tube that goes into the fitting, if you're going to use that pump that turns on and off, zip tie that sucker so when you're in the car, it doesn't go foot-ba-doo and spit the fitting right out of the tube.
And then the water
Uncle
is splurting
Dave,
everywhere.
thank you very, yeah. And then all of a sudden you're at 140 miles an hour and you've got ice water in your nether
Which is
regions.
great.
Not
It's
fun.
great for a
It's
minute.
great until it's not.
It's not, and then until it's not.
Until you're slippery in the seat.
Other things I would suggest here are, I really like the setup we have now with the pump is a positive displacement pump, like it would run a pressure water system in an RV, mounted in the car, hardwired and attached to the car, and then we just swap the coolers in and out. It's way faster. We used to have a pump in a cooler attached to the car, and for every stop you'd have to then like get some water out of it and then put more ice in it and ratchet strap it back down. But sometimes the ratchet strap wouldn't be on right, it would fall over, or it was difficult. So with this new setup, we've got coolers that securely latch, and I've got like those rubber like Jeep hood closing things to hold the cooler into the car on a mount that we have built for it, and then quick disconnects of water in and out of the cooler. And every driver is responsible for bringing their own cooler of ice for their stint. And it works out really nicely. It lasts longer. It's way faster. It's cleaner. It's less problems. Would recommend.
And I think we could probably just do an actual show on this because we are in the market for some new shirts. So it's possible that we should be looking at what we should buy one and see what's out on the market, especially since the latest news I saw that Cool and Fast were combining. So what does that look like? And what are the best shirts? Probably should put that out to people. So yeah, hopefully that helped a little bit. We can always take pictures if you need help now.
But totally worth it. Do it.
Do it.
Yep. All right, great.
You know whose shirts are never too warm and always super cool?
If you
they
like
are
the color
super.
gray,
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Who is baking away like a crazy lady because it's baking day, and she's making deliveries tomorrow, so we head to the track soon. So
excellent.
if you're a Thompson, you can stop by. I might make you pose a picture of you enjoying one of my mom's cookies, but we should have some available.
Should we make your mom a baking cool shirt so she can stay cool while she's baking in the hot kitchen?
She would have to carry around a bucket or something.
You need one of those setups that Chris Egan had, where he had the
Correct.
window air conditioner mounted in a
Yes.
cooler that had a
With
bunch
a
of ports on it.
really long string, so you could just walk
Yeah,
around,
that's
walk
what
away from it.
that's what he does when he's working his garage in the summertime.
Yeah,
He has like a 20-foot or 30-foot hose on it and just walks around that way. It's like that's brilliant.
I feel like if you walk around the island too many times, and you have to like unwind
Well,
yourself.
you do
So
have
I'm
to
not really,
unwind. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure how it would go.
There almost needs to be like a reverse fanny pack that sits like on the small of her back and just circulates
Oh,
through,
I like that.
self-contained. Yeah.
I thought we were going to go with, so I'm not sure that you know this story, but my mom helped us make the first cool shirts that we ever had. So we had a sweatshop in my mom's kitchen with 2 sewing machines going, and we made the whole team. We probably made 10 shirts, maybe. I mean, like it was not just
We
2
didn't
or
have
3.
we had like 6 people on the team then, so
Well, we
yeah.
made a lot,
Yeah.
and they were a lot of work. And we said it was our intro, and then we said, "This is great. We're now buying them because we realized they were great." But she helped make us the very, very first cool shirts.
So it should
Okay.
be more like who else would never make their own cool shirt ever again.
Yep, there you go. Totally.
Probably not. Although if we asked, she would help. But
Fair.
she would question it. Anyway, okay, it's big topic time!
Woo!
Thompson is this coming weekend, like a couple days from now. So let's go racing.
Or you're
We're gonna-
listening to this on the way
on
to the
your-
track.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not going to get posted up for Wednesday morning because I have no idea how. I have to figure out how to get this recording and get it to Mental. So we'll find out. Anyway, here's what you need to know about Thompson and our E1R virtual track walk.
Okay. Some of this is old because I copied it from an old place. So you're probably going to need to go to a driver's meeting. You should always have your license ready at the gate. Anyway, sometimes they just give you take your name, but make sure you have it around because you get your wristbands there. Tech schedule is posted. It's definitely on the forum. You probably got it in an email, so make sure that
Yep.
you go at your time. Even if it looks like it's open, usually that's the time when the judges at least get to go to the bathroom and get a drink. So make sure that you're at your posted time. The paddock space. Okay, so the paddock space is well, do you want to talk about the paddock
Well,
station
Tim's going to
later?
talk more about the paddock space. in
Totally.
general,
Okay,
so.
great. Because that was I'm just going through my minimal things here. So we'll tell you how to get into the paddock, where you're supposed to go. Tim will talk to you about that, and then make sure you're wearing your suit to gear tech. That is the rules now. Especially at the very least, whoever's checking your gear does not want to touch any of your dirty, gross, nasty clothes or shoes. So wear it all, except for shoes. I believe that you're allowed to put your shoe tags
Yep.
on the table
Carry your shoes.
and your helmet, and that's it.
Yep.
And then make sure that your Hans Defender, whatever you have, matches your clips on your helmet. And then bring all of that with you. And nearby, so if you're going to go to the track and you haven't been there before, the 2 stores aren't very close to the track. So there is a Walmart that are and 2-part stores to the south, 1 exit in Webster, Mass.
No,
I'm
south
sorry.
is still Connecticut, Webster.
South. Got it. I'm sorry. South, 1 exit. And then Webster, Mass is the north one that has other stuff. Gas stations, either north or south, but south is slightly cheaper in Connecticut. I'm sorry, as Connecticut gas tax is slightly less than Mass. Really?
Mhm.
Connecticut's usually more expensive.
Yep.
Okay. There's nothing around the track, so don't plan on going there and then going back out. Get stuff before you come in, and then once you're there, you're pretty much there. Except for, did we talk about the track? Yes. The next thing is there's a restaurant and ice cream. Bogey's ice cream is amazing. We make a trip over there. Sometimes one of your teammates might come back and be licking their lips and saying, my tummy is chilly," and you're like, Why? Because it's 97 degrees outside. You're like, oh, I just got myself some ice cream, which has happened on our team. And then the rest of your team hates you. So you probably should all just go together and or ask people what they want and don't sit around and say, oh, you just got out of the race car? This ice cream is delicious. It's
Get
not
Pitt now.
right.
Eating ice cream.
Camp Pit, very busy. It's not right in the track. You have to go over across the bridge and around the restaurant, so it's a little bit harder to get to. It's kind of closer to the golf course, which is where we're at, where Thompson is. And lastly, what I have is there's potluck, so make sure you show up. Bring it already hot. Do not bring potato salad. Do not bring half-eaten pizza. Normal rules apply. There's not a whole lot on my spreadsheet, so if you are going to bring something, you're listening to this, throw something up there. Even if you're just like, I'm going to bring some kind of meat or some kind of side, that's helpful to me. And please bring something, even if you're planning on eating. I really do appreciate. It's only as good as what people bring. So that'll be Saturday night, 7-ish. We don't finish racing until 6:30, I think. So 7 o'clock is kind of soon. So make sure somebody's preparing your food. Okay.
Do they
Go ahead.
take cash? Is it cash only at the ice cream place, or do they take credit card? I can't remember.
I do not recall.
I don't know. I'll find out. Hold.
Bring cash just in case,
Good idea.
because
But
you're going to want the ice cream.
I will
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, be so sad to walk over there, order your ice cream, be all excited, and nope. Oh,
Credit card, please.
yeah,
No.
nope. Okay,
Well,
great.
the paddock situation. I would, I'd call it cozy. It's cozy.
Quite.
And dark.
Yeah, yeah, and dark, and
And like a bog.
congested,
If
and yeah, and it's like got really tight turning radiuses for those of you with large wheelbase vehicles with trailers. So get in early with your, giant 36-foot RV and try to park it in spots. And like track entry is on Thursday from 5 to 10. So get there. Don't get there after 10 because it's not going to go well for you. Trust me. You can get back in again Friday in the morning at 7 a.m. And then racing is going to be Saturday from 9 to 6. So driver's meeting will be at 8 o'clock on Saturday. Sunday is a nice relaxing day. You can sleep in, enjoy all of the things at the potluck until noon on Sunday. So
It's great to sit
it's
in your penguin and
your
oh,
fling.
my penguin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So if you do have a giant inflatable flamingo, then you could bring that and hang out in it in the tepid tub, and it's actually really nice.
Yep.
What is the forecast for this weekend?
The forecast is mid 80s, mostly sunny, 40% chance of showers both days. So kind of typical Thompson, but a little less hot than usual. Usually it's in the 90s, so I'll take 80s.
Yeah.
And then, but there is often just those storms that come through at Thompson. It doesn't sound like it's going to rain all day, but storm coming through, that'll change things up.
Yeah, that's actually really good for Thompson. That's really good
Yeah.
for Thompson. So Sunday, noon to 5, short race day. You can party your butt off, go up to the big fire pit on Saturday night. You have all morning to lick your wounds and drink lots of Gatorade and water, and get out there for 5 hours. Testing day is run by the track. It's only $250 all in ahead of time. So sign up on the Thompson site now. If you register on site in the past, they've sometimes allowed passengers and instruction, but we can't guarantee that. A lot of places have been changing on the fly recently. And testing runs from 10 to 1:15, and then again from 1:40 till 5. If you
It's
do
just open
plan
testing
on
day too. It's easy.
if you do plan on testing, Don't blow your car up. It's not good.
And you're also
BS
not
and
racing, so don't hit people.
take it
We got hit on
easy on
testing
your
day before, so
at Thompson.
yep.
Oh yeah, going down the straight at
Full
about
speed,
$110.
going down the straight. Yep. It was exciting.
Somebody came out of
Wait.
pits and just came right into the side of us.
Clang.
And we went
into
through the grass very fast for a really long time. Yeah,
So
both of us were
somebody
in the car.
didn't mind the blend line coming onto the racetrack.
No, it
Who
was
would do such a
it
thing?
was it was different. We were passing someone on the
Who would
left. We were
do
on the left
that?
side of the track. Someone was coming onto the track, but the car in the middle decided to just come over to give the person coming onto the track lots of room without looking at the green Civic that was passing them at about a 30-mile-an-hour speed differential. So
The giant fist on there.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's hard to miss. Oh well.
Crazy.
Anyway, yep.
Crazy. Well, BS and Gear Tech from noon to 5 as usual. Check the list for your tech time. Please try to go in that window. If you have a problem and you can't make your tech time, usually just let the judges know. They can make accommodations for strange things like, I don't know, like my trailer fell off and I won't be there on time, or my car is on
No
fire.
excuse.
So,
No excuse.
yeah.
Actually, bringing
So-
the car slightly on, or just not on fire, like no longer, like recently on fire. That'll get shut down a class, I think.
covered in foam from the
Yeah.
fire prevention
I would
team.
be more lenient in classing with the person
So
whose car
legit.
had just been on
That's
fire.
so
right?
legit.
C0. Good luck.
Yeah.
The track walk, that will be from 6 to 7:30 per Lemons. It's great to do if you haven't been out on track before. Normally, Chris will do an organized track walk, but as we've talked about, there's a lot going on with new motors and things, so probably not going to happen on this race, but I recommend going out there and checking it out. When you come in,
pretty much
going,
always do. At this track, they
Yes.
almost always let us go. They don't really have a way to contain you, so
So when you come in, and after you go over the bridge, head to the left and squat where you want. Squat where you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you pick your paddock spot, right? Whoever's there.
Sure.
step 4.
Yeah.
But you got to go to the left, though.
Yes. If you go to the right, that means that you reserved a garage in advance. That's how like all of the rich kids live. So if you want to hang out with the cool kids, pay in advance and go to the right, or go to the left and you can spread your wings. If you do go to the right, make sure that you are only in your area right in front of your garage. Do not park other cars or vehicles or pit vehicles or flamingos or anything else in those areas. You only have the area right in front of your garage. It is okay to paddock on the grass on the left side as you go down the access road, and then the Black Lake and the surrounding area is just a free-for-all. So no paddock up on the hill by turn 10 though, but you can kind of figure it out. If you're unsure, ask the other people. Chances are everyone else has been there before. Don't just assume you can park there. It's always good to make nice with your neighbors. So go ahead and find a good spot, ask around, get settled in. Some of the garages, all of the pavement near the garages is reserved for those with the garages, and that is not a lot of space either. So even if you have reserved spot and don't plan on bringing a ton of things, because you just won't fit there.
Every year,
but you can
inevitably, someone decides to squat in the spot outside HQ and thinking, well, nobody's here. And I say, you guys can't stay there. And like, oh, we'll be all right. And then inevitably we ask them to move. Or we don't, but they get asked to move. So, yeah.
along along that same line is the fire lane. So where people are parked, even if you think that there is a space between the what do you call that? A bunch of cars and the track and the
It's like a bike
barriers
rack
that are
fence that they have
right
out. Yeah.
that are holding you away from the track. Yes, barriers, cars. Even though it looks like there's spaces there, that is not open. People need to get through there. So that is they will move. They will not tell you, but they'll tell you to move.
Yep.
Yes. Be very careful in the garage area. You'll know if it's your spot, and if you're not 100% sure it's your spot, it's probably not. You can park your trailers down in the grass in the unused part of the oval infield just to get it out of the way. Highly recommend doing that so you have room to put all of your other crap near your garage. Fuel will be at the pits or the pumps. But please leave your, F950 Texas sized truck out of the hot pit lane. Don't leave your stuff there. Go in with your cart, go in with your stuff, and move on. So you've got to drag it. It's fine. It's not going to be 100 degrees. You'll survive. If you can't, then go get an ice cream. It'll be good. So, fuel prices are usually pretty reasonable for racetrack purposes, and they have an extra tanker truck standing by for a refill, so they won't run out. But be sure to put your credit card back in the machine when you finish pumping to finish your transaction. You put it in, you pump your gas, you got to put it back in, get your receipt. Otherwise, it will stay open, and all the people that come in after you will love you. So it's probably not good. I mean, it's good for everyone but you.
It's fairly confusing. And
Yeah.
I feel like we'll mess it up at least once. Usually if you go into the shop during the day, they will help you. And they're used to helping people that are lost.
Just apologize. Walk in and say, "I'm so sorry. I'm dumb. Here's
I'm
what I did.
dumb.
I know what I'm supposed to do, yet I don't do it. So please show pity and help me, not be dumb." Top tip: mind the blend line. It's short and it's at the fastest part of the track. Watch for blend line dive bombers. People will shoot in from the hot side of the track. People go all the way left trying to get onto the track. It is a very dangerous spot. Please pretend like that white line is a 5-foot concrete wall and do not touch the concrete wall. It's
just drive down to turn 1. That's it. Drive straight to turn 1.
Yeah, just go. Take it tight apex. Traffic around the garage is always counterclockwise. Keep the building on your left and watch for your paddock speed because it is how many miles an hour?
10. Which is
Painfully
painfully slow when you come off the track.
Walking speed. I had a really fun time at sidebar at the 24-hour in Denver, where I had a couple of teams that were speeding and in the paddock, like very fast. And I said, I want you to understand what 10 miles an hour is. And I said, and I'm kind of bored. It's in the middle of the night and I need to make sure I stay awake. So you're going to follow me around the paddock, and the walking speed is what it is. And I literally walked the entire paddock and they just followed me in their race car through every single aisle. And I was like, does it make sense now? They're like, yes. Walking speed. Don't kill people. Don't kill dogs. Feral children. 10 miles an hour. It's crazy. I don't understand why people don't get that. But the people that are going to just totally berate you on this are our judges, and they are Manny, Chris H, and Janice. Good luck, folks. Welcome to the East Coast.
Yep. They will
with
not
a lot
suffer.
of cars.
They will not suffer fools pit speeding, which everyone does when they come off track at Thompson. You turn that right and you turn the other right, and they just barrel through there. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
no, you definitely don't.
I
And
don't.
you're good with that
Nope.
blend line too, honey. It's great.
I am. And then when I come in, I'm all upset. I know why people speed when you come in for a black flag. I know.
Yep. All right, we're going to do our turn-by-turn track walk, what we have learned. So just you guys interject as we go through it. We already talked about the blend line, so we'll just be on the straight. The straight is not quite straight. It's got a kink to it. It kind of narrows down right about the time that cars are coming on track. It gets a little tight, so be careful. You can go 3 wide, just it gets a little snug by the time. So you get your 3 wide done by the time you get to get the track on there. That'd be good. The thing about the straight is that it's you go over a crest of a hill to get to the straight, and then it's downhill a little bit, and then it actually goes uphill in the braking zone. But the fun part about that is it actually flattens out and goes downhill again right after the 1 board. So if you brake around the 3, that usually gets you off the gas for turning in at 1. But if you're braking, you can brake really hard because it's going uphill. But as soon as you crest that, you're going to lose that braking force because you don't have the traction anymore, and then wash out wide and other things happen. So just really look at that hill and you'll understand. And it changes how you can use the brakes there. So turn 1 is off camber initially. So you come over that crest, it goes downhill and off camber. So you lose all the traction that you wish you had. But then after you get past your apex, you get the camber right back. And so you can come into that corner trailing your brakes a bit. You can slide a little bit. And all this is with no one around. With traffic, we all know, pick your lane and go for it. But with nobody around, you can trail your brakes a bit there. You're going to lose a little traction when you are off camber, but it will come back as you come in through the corner. 2 is just an extension of 1 and a setup for 3. The curbing out of 1 into 2 is pretty friendly until it's not. Like, it's got good grip at the curb, but if you go beyond the red and white, it falls into a ditch, and that's a great way to break your splitter on your Civic if you go over that ditch. So don't do that. Just hold it back a little bit. 3, well, coming out of 2, I usually track out about maybe 2/3 of the way to the left, but you don't need to go all the way to the left, and you can't really because you need to get back to set up for 3. 3's a pretty standard 90-degree left. It is slightly off camber on the outside, and it goes uphill right after. So you come out of 2, get back to the right to brake for 3. Your end of braking for 3 is just before you turn in. Watch that flag station though at 3, because you can't see a damn thing that's going on the other side, and that hairpin behind it does tend to back up. So watch that flag station as you're coming out of 2. So you go through your 90-degree left, you track back out. You can track out a lot further than you think. When you turn into the corner, you feel like you can't see anything and you hesitate, but you can track way out there because one of the little service roads is right kind of where you end up tracking out. So there's plenty of room. And coming out of 3 into 4, there's a straight that is downhill and then uphill. And then as you get into 4, which is a very tight hairpin, the track falls away again. So it goes downhill again and off camber again as you go through the very tight right-hand hairpin. You can take 2 real different lines through here. A single apex late, I think, is the best. So come in, go a little far out, tighten up your apex as you're coming through the corner. Apex is 2/3 of the way around, and then just push wide back out to the curbing on the far side of 4. That works out pretty well. You just got to get some weight up on the nose of the car to get it to turn around that tight corner. It's a challenging one, to be sure. So after 4, you're going on a straight to go toward the bridge to the 5 and 6 combination. There's a couple different ways to do this. Depends on your car and your traffic. I've tried them both. I have one that I like better, but it's pretty close. It depends on your car. But the key is you want to try to track out very late in 6. So it's after you're under the bridge. Your apex is beyond the bridge, basically. if you do a single apex. You can do a double apex and come into 5 by the bridge and apex the grass before the bridge and then go out under the bridge, and under the bridge you kind of make it a V and then turn back to go back out in 6, or you kind of swing in wide through 5 and then aim for your track, your apex way on the other side. And there's a piece of pavement there that there's a triangle on the inside.
Dorito.
That's the Dorito. Exactly. Aim for the Dorito. Once you've seen it once, you always see it and you always aim for it. And that works out great, because the problem is as soon as you go into the oval, you lose all the camber. It's camber way away from you. You lose a lot of traction, and you go down to that curbing on the outside, and that curbing has a big ditch in it for all the people that apexed that too early and lost the traction. So don't go off at that curbing, because it will hurt your car probably. So aim for the Dorito. Yeah, aim for the Dorito. Power out. It's a super late apex, but it works really, really well and gets you onto that straight where a lot of passing happens as you're entering the oval, and everyone just splits apart. Tim.
As you approach the bridge, look for the flag stands.
Yeah.
Because as you're going around that turn towards the Dorito, there will be a Cadillac facing the wrong direction, and you are coming around there hot and like, now where do I go? So keep your eyes up for flags before you enter that area.
And I think there should be a blinking yellow light if there is something major before you go under the bridge. So if your eyes are up and as you're going towards the apex of under the bridge, yes, you need to see the one that's right at the outside of the bridge, the inside of the...
Yeah, the stations there's one in 4, and then there's one that's just after you go under the bridge is where the station will be on your right, but you can see that as you're turning into 5. You can see as soon as you get under the bridge. So keep your eye out for that, which is tough because you want to be looking to the left, but the flag station is to the right.
Especially if you're trying to pass a Simca and 2 other horrible cars. So your eyes are not looking towards the yellow flashing thing.
Yeah.
But look at it.
Yes, please do. Good call. Okay, so now we're in the oval. It's going to spread out here in the oval, sometimes 4 cars wide, and you just need to kind of find your lane. There's really 2 lines through this section, really. There's inside and outside. In the times that I have tested in our cars, if I stay up high on the oval, on the banking of the oval, out wide, I can stay on the gas a lot longer and brake really late and then turn in hard while you're on the banking. You can get a whole bunch of turn in there. It'll really grip great. But then as soon as you hit the bottom of the banking, you lose that grip. So you've got to unwind the wheel to carry the speed. But you turn in a lot harder than you usually would because you're on the banking. And then gradually tighten up your line to apex most of the way through the corner. There's a big bump in the middle if you don't, and you'll see it, or especially if you walk the track, you'll find it, and it's kind of right where you kind of want the car seems to naturally want to flow, is right to this bump. So either you stay all the way tight and stay along the inside curbing as you come onto the other side of the oval, or I'll just open the wheel a little bit. If I seems the way that the car is heading toward that bump, I'll just open the wheel and get back onto the outer part of the oval earlier, aim for the T in Thompson, and gets you around that bump. Because that bump is unpleasant. Yeah, it's going to upset the car as you go through it. The other way to go through this whole...
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
Sometimes you get squished there, and if you're trying to power out or power around somebody, there's been times where I'm like, I'm gonna bump. You're gonna hit it, and it's...
Yeah, if you're in traffic... Yeah, if you're in traffic and you're not near the limit, it's not terrible. But if you're pushing it and you're close to the limit, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Depends on how much give your suspension has, but it'll upset the car. The other way you can go through this corner, that's I think a little bit slower, but it's a lot shorter distance, is to come in just and hug the inside all the way around. Come in tight to the inside. No one can get inside you that way, and just hug it all the way around. It is slower, but not by a whole lot. And really, it depends on which lane is faster. So as you're coming out of 6, evaluate the traffic ahead of you. Pick which lane doesn't have a Simca in it and go in the other one. Yep. All right. So now you're in the oval. You're coming down the other side, and there's a great flag station right ahead of you that you need to pay attention to. But it's a great line of sight flag station, so make sure you catch that one. But as you're coming off the oval, I see a lot of people stay way out to the right as they're coming off the oval to head into the little kind of left-right section there. And I don't think that's fast. I think it's slow to do that. I found a lot of luck if I, coming off the oval, clip the apex on your left at the edge of the oval where it leaves the inside. Like just stay, you'll see the spot where it kind of exits to the left. That spot is your apex. And then once you get over that bump, then you can brake in a straight line heading straight toward the hill. And you can haul down a lot of speed that way. But doing it this way, it makes it so you can stay on the gas up to the bump or even over the bump, depends on how your car handles that. Instead of the people who are going out to the right have to let off a lot to have the more time that they're spending cornering. So straight to the apex, over the bump. As soon as you're over the bump, brake hard in a straight line so that you can make your left turn for 10. And 10 is just a setup corner for 11. It's 90 degrees off camber to the right. It's downhill. Yeah, really, that's 10.
I feel like a lot of people over slow for 10.
They do. Yeah. Well, I'm still actually going to finish up 9. So when you're in 9, you come over the bump, you braked, turn left, and just have your car aligned with the left side of the track. There's 0 track out here at all. No track out. Just line up with the track on your left. 10 is a setup corner for 11. That's a 90-degree right. You're right, Tim. A lot of people do overslow for this. It's a right-hand turn, off camber and downhill. Track all the way out, and a lot of people don't track all the way out there, and that's what's costing them speed, and that's going to cost them speed all the way through 11 and all the way down the straight. So if you've set up through 9 correctly, you can get on the gas in 10. Some cars don't need to lift going through 10 into 11. Other one, like our cars, usually I'll just do a lift. Don't need to do a brake. And right around the end of the curbing is where you will need to do that speed correction to get you ready for 11, because 11 is the setup for the really long straight. And this is a corner that is so deceptive coming into it. You look coming into the corner and you see trees and flag station, and that's it. And so,
and a
this
wall.
isn't going well.
And as you're going,
yeah.
as you're going up the hill, there's a barrier wall that is the end of the track. Like holding the people in to your right.
Yep. But
Confident, inspiring.
There's a ton of track out on the other side if you get through it. So get on the gas as you're turning in and just hold it, and you'll be all right, because there's so much more track out than you think. And you're going to be going uphill after you pass the apex, which is going to compress your suspension and give you more grip too. So stay on the gas, trust the track's going to be there, and power up and over that hill. But try to get your car straight before you go over that hill, because it's a fairly abrupt hill. And if you go over that hill
you
sideways...
Should. You should.
You really should. Going over
there is no try. There is do or do not.
Yes.
It can go very poorly. And then as soon as you're over the hill, the track on the left tightens up. So all that room you had coming through 11, you don't have it anymore. So you got to get all the turning sorted out before you crest that hill. And then also watch out at the flag station on the right on the crest of the hill for the people who are going into the pits on the other side too. Because that's right where it is, and it can get a little congested there.
The first time, second time, especially if you're testing, there used to be, don't know if it's still there, a mark on the track just at the crest of the hill. And that is a good indication Don't look at it every time because you're supposed to be looking where you're going, looking way down the track. But it's kind of a good indication of where the end of the track is because it's going to tighten on your left if you are going. Try to put your driver's side over that little mark, and it's just like a paint mark on the ground. But again, not sure if it's still there, but if there's some kind of marking that you can find, you can trust and go. You can already be going flat out because you trust that there's going to be track there when you go up and over the hill.
Yep.
Not your first lap, but maybe your fifth lap.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How about when you're testing, which is a
What
better
kind of
idea.
mark was it? Was it like a tar strip or was it a paint?
No.
mark,
It's a
or was
paint. It's a paint mark. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I guess you didn't see it. I used
I'm
it
just
as a
trying to
reference.
clarify for everybody
Oh,
what
I,
it is.
I said it was a paint mark, but okay.
Okay.
Yes, paint mark.
Wonderful.
Watch flagging stations all over the place because there are, I know you mentioned them, but I'm just thinking of that one. There's not as many of them. There's usually one for multiple corners, and they're really relying on seeing the whole, like a whole picture, a whole corner. So really knowing and watching them. Sometimes they're in treetops, sometimes they're behind barriers. Typically, it's pretty good flagging, I think, for the most part. Usually, the flaggers, if not usually flagging, plenty of them will duck down. So the ones that like right under the bridge or the ones that are at 9, sometimes they will not be around. There's a lot of really good markers here. So like a break here, or you can look up and try to like use a different marker to say, well, I know I can drive to this place and then break, not just breaking markers just down the straight.
Finding your own reference points is what you're saying.
Thank you. Yes,
there's
that's
things around the track that you can use for your own reference points.
a lot of them.
Like,
Yes,
like
sometimes
the anal
it's
trailer that we've still used
anal
to be
trailer.
right.
Yes,
That was a great reference point. Yeah,
it was.
it
But
was.
like the
It just
star
We'll be
in
there
Thompson
every year,
Preview-
though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
They keep moving
don't
it,
expect
unfortunately.
anal every year.
Nope.
No, it just happened to be there like a couple years, and you happened to be their parking spot, which was great because we could use that as a reference point. For anybody who doesn't know what it is, I don't know what it said, but the door was open and the end of it only said anal. So it was the only thing you saw as soon as you were driving straight at it, and you
Turn
and you
9,
had to
which
look
is-
at it before you turned left.
There's the anal
So
trailer.
it was very prominent.
Yep.
My last top tip is this is a track where I found that there were a couple of corners that I felt like I was overslowing, and I found myself looking at the ground. So this is one of my notorious tracks of keeping your eyes up, looking for those different trees or whatever, looking at the track instead of looking at that apex. I know that you're supposed to do that every time, but this I keep coming back to, like one, I was slowing in one, and I was just because I was looking at the apex. And so eyes up. I'm going to look at the stickers this time. Eyes up.
Oh,
I
the
found
stickers
myself
are in
doing
the
that
Civic.
in the 2-3 complex. Like
Yeah.
trying to hit the marks.
Yep.
First time like trying through the track, trying to hit the marks, and I was like, I should be, the track's over there. I should be looking where I'm trying to go. So totally
Yeah.
agree.
In one, I was looking at the apex, and then I started looking at the sign. There's a billboard that's right. If you were to go straight off at one, like if you early apexed and you kept going, there's a billboard over there. And so I kept looking at the billboard because I would not look at the track. So plenty of reference points. Yes, thank you for saying the words I was looking for. Reference points around here to stop you from looking at the ground, because I tend to like to do that.
And just watch out for traffic that can back up and stop very quickly. The track has a lot of very tight corners.
So much.
And if something goes wrong, they're going to bunch up really quickly, and you can't always see it. So that's another reason, eyes up. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Anything else?
Great track. Can't wait to run. Make sure you
Great.
bring lots of water, Gatorade. It's going to be hot.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, we
just a tip.
we didn't talk a lot about the bonfire. Should we just throw a quick bonfire teaser in there
Go
to
for
wrap
it.
up?
Do it. Is that just a tip?
So-
is stay away from the bonfire. Stay back.
Dude,
a
don't
little bit
fall
from
in the bonfire.
Don't
Can be,
fall in the
sure.
bonfire. Face first. A bad way to go.
Don't
in
let
the
someone
bonfire.
talk you into getting into a cart while they tow you with Scooty
Why not?
to or from the bonfire.
And then I took a video of me bouncing down it. Why? It was hilarious.
Don't
I'm
pour
a safety
gasoline on the
professional.
bonfire. Is another good
I'm-
top safety
Right.
tip. Yeah.
I might be a safety professional, but I choose
By day.
the occasional risk. I did my risk assessment and said, well, I could fall out and tumble down the hill slowly. It'll be fine.
It's the worst that can happen.
I might ask myself
It's
something.
fine. Everyone's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But it is super fun. So go up to the bonfire. It's really cool. Don't bring marshmallows. You will burn your face off. It's a legit bonfire.
Yep.
Put on by the track. Did you say that? So it's
No,
it's-
I did
Yeah, the
not.
track just
Yeah.
saves pallets and stuff. And
track
tosses
just
them in
puts
there.
it on.
Yep.
No idea what time. 9, 10
Saturday night. You can't
Saturday.
really miss it.
Yeah,
It's up on the top of the hill.
Darkish.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Usually,
Cool.
it's usually a pretty good time.
Anything else? Chrissy, potluck?
Yeah. Make sure you sign up for the potluck. Bring something and bring it warm. If you forget your spoon, that's okay. I have some. But other than that, please try to bring utensils and things to serve. And don't bring potato salad from the grocery store.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Our next show is just going to be Thompson Hangover, I think. Unless something happens in the
probably.
meantime. Who knows? One of the next couple shows will be Thompson Hangover. And then our show, we're going to talk about the Mazda. I think we might be talking to someone else too. We've got some stuff planned. We'll figure it out.
There's a lot going on. It's good stuff.
Thanks for downloading us.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to play the outro.
That's okay. You were almost there. Go ahead.
I'm
Play
trying to
the
make
outro.
sure. Are we good?
Run it.
Great.
We're great.
I
Thanks.
hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. And go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text pictures of your junk to me at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, and even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again. Until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.